Good day everyone. For our report today, we will be discussing about the strategic formulation, SWOT analysis, pest analysis, and Porter's 5 forces model. To be presented by yours truly, Pearl Joy Subiri, to be followed by Kyla May Gonzaga, Liza Ann Colombres, Lead Ryan Guzman, and Neil Nicholson Sara. So before we proceed to the presentation proper, let me tell you first a story. A farmer had a dog who used to wait by the roadside for vehicles to come. As soon as one came, he would run down the road, barking and trying to overtake the vehicle. One day, the farmer's neighbor asked the farmer, "Do you think the dog is ever going to overtake those vehicles?" The farmer replied, "That is not what bothers me. What bothers me is what he would do if he ever caught one." The title of the story is Meaningless Goals by Basab Ghosh. We humans, most of the times, act as the farmer's dog. We set a goal without much thinking, and then we follow them with all our soul and powers, but what we do not think about is whether the goal we have set is of any worth or not. We usually set meaningless goals, and only when we get there, we realize all that hard work was for nothing. Therefore, we should think more carefully. We should identify our goals, apply strategies, and make it happen. So, we hope that you will be all ears as we proceed to the presentation proper. The first topic to be presented is the strategic formulation. Let us define first the two words strategy and formulate. Strategy is the intentional means through which one seeks to achieve a set of objectives guided by a particular vision and direction. Strategy is a plan. It answers the question how, a means of getting from here to there. So how do you get from here to there? Strategy is a pattern in actions over time, because a strategy is an unending process. Strategy is position. That is, it refers to the decisions or areas to concentrate. Strategy is perspective. That is vision and direction. Next is formulate. To formulate means to devise or develop all the details of a plan for doing something, which simply means putting together the different parts of a plan. So, strategic formulation is the process by which an organization chooses the most appropriate course of action to achieve its defined goals. This process is essential to an organization's success because it provides a framework for the actions that will lead to the anticipated results. Strategic plans should be communicated to all employees so that they are aware of the organization's objectives, mission, and purpose. A strategic plan also enables an organization to evaluate its resources, allocate budgets, and determine the most effective plan for maximizing return on investment. A company that has not taken the time to develop a strategic plan will not be able to provide its employees with direction or focus. So here are the 6 steps of strategic formulation. First is to define the organization. In defining an organization, we need to identify the company's customers. A company must identify the factors that are valued by its customers. So, here are some ways to define the organization. First is the end benefit. Customers will ask the question, "What's in it for me?" What does the company or the organization's product has to offer that will benefit me? The second is the target market. It is a specific group of people you have decided or your company decided to target or to offer with your products or service. Next is technology. Let's say, for example, a microprocessors manufacturing company that uncovers and discovers new advances every day, making it challenging to develop a specific strategy plan for its products and services. They must be able to quickly adapt to changes in the marketplace. The second step of strategic formulation is to define the strategic mission. An organization's strategic mission offers a long-range perspective of what the organization strives for going forward. A clearly stated mission will provide the organization with a guide for carrying out its plans. So let's take our school's mission and vision as an example. The university is committed to, first, provide quality and relevant advanced education, higher technological professional instruction, and training in arts, sciences, education, architecture, engineering, agriculture, forestry, and other fields of study, thereby producing locally oriented, globally competitive, and eco-friendly human resources. It shall promote research and development programs to advance science and technology and undertake sustainable extension and production activities. So as you can see, it provides the school with a guide for carrying out its plans. So the elements of a strong strategic mission statement should include the values the organization holds, the nature of the business, special abilities or position the organization holds in the marketplace, and the organization's vision for where it wants to be in the future. In the case of our university, we want to be a leading science and technology university in Southeast Asia by 2030. So, we can see that in our vision, what we aim is clear, and that is to be a leading science and technology university in Southeast Asia by 2030. The third step to strategic formulation is to define the strategic objectives. Strategic objectives must be communicated with all employees and stakeholders in order to ensure success. All members of the organization must be made aware of their role in the process and how their efforts contribute to meeting the organization's objectives. Additionally, members of the organization should have their own set of objectives and performance targets for their individual roles. So, if we want to be a leading science and technology university in Southeast Asia by 2030, then we must have advanced research and development programs, and we must undertake sustainable extension and production activities just like our fabrication laboratory and with a partnership with the DTI, which can be used for creating prototypes. Who knows, maybe some of us here can create or contribute to greatest inventions in science and technology. So, an organization must identify the performance targets needed to reach clearly stated objectives. Let us say, for example, in businesses, their performance targets must be, for example, they must reach certain quotas. And the fourth step of strategic formulation is to define the competitive strategy. Competitive strategy is defined as the long-term plan of a particular company in order to gain competitive advantage over its competitors in the industry. Here are some things to consider when creating a competitive strategy. First is the industry. An organization must determine where it fits into the marketplace. Each area must be aware of its role within the company and how those roles enable the organization to maintain its competitive position. The organization must be known for a certain something. Let's say, for example, you both sell milk tea, but what makes yours different? The second to consider is the competition. An organization cannot be successful unless it has a full understanding of other players or competitors in marketplace. Next is the strengths and weaknesses. An organization must be fully aware of its internal strengths, and these strengths should be maximized and leveraged to the company's advantage. It is also equally important for an organization to take an honest look at its areas of weakness. This is where a company can become vulnerable to outside market conditions such as competitive gains, advances in technology, economic shifts, and other factors. By identifying areas in need of improvement and taking steps to remedy those areas, a company will be in a stronger competitive position. So the fifth step to strategic formulation is to implement strategies. Developing a strategy is only effective if it is put into place. An organization may take all the necessary steps to understand the marketplace, define itself, and identify the competition. However, without implementing the strategy, the organization's work will be of no value. So in this step is putting ideas into action. The methods employed for implementing strategies are known as tactics. These individual actions or decisions enable an organization to build a foundation for implementation. Once the strategy has been implemented, it's not the end yet. That's why there is still the sixth step, which is to evaluate the progress. Strategic formulation is an ongoing process. It is an unending implementing, monitoring, and correcting because in management, competition is always present. So you can't just settle for less. Evaluating the progress of a strategy is about monitoring implemented strategy and making corrective adjustments. If goals are not met, organizations must be adaptable and flexible to recognize that changes may be made. It is a series of a trial and error process. So, an organization will be able to successfully implement its strategy both now and in the future through evaluating feedback. So, the next topic, which is the different approaches to strategic formulation, will be discussed by Kyla May Gonzaga in the next video.